Hi, I'm Sarah Neville.
And I'm Tor Dollhouse.
And we are Rubber Horse. I've got a PhD in mathematical statistics.
And I'm a professional filmmaker.
This is our game. Hello, Operator. Look out! Our game, Hello Operator, is highly strategic, has a debut theme, and incorporates an innovative dice mechanic. The components of Hello Operator are one board game manual, one switchboard gamepad, two white numbered dice, one coloured numbered die, and black markers. The switchboard consists of phone numbers, phone lines, and a phone book. In order to complete a call, all phone numbers on a line must be crossed off. The aim is to complete calls in order to score points. Scoring will be described later. The opening turn shows players the active player move and the passive player move that form the basic mechanics of the game. First, they play out the passive player move. After rolling the dice, the phone number is determined using any colour except the result of the coloured die, in this case purple, with the sum of the two white dice. In this case, the resulting phone number could be an orange 6 or a red 6. The player then crosses off the orange 6. Next, we play out the active player move. Now, the active player may choose to re-roll either the coloured die or the two white dice. I'm choosing not to re-roll here. The active player determines the colour of the phone number using the result of the coloured die, which is purple here. The active player then chooses the number using one of three options. Option 1, the sum of the two white dice, which is 6 here. Option 2, the sum of all three dice, which is 12 here. Option 3, the sum of the two white dice minus the coloured die. Note, this isn't technically an option here as the result would be 0. More on this later. So, the resulting phone numbers are a purple 6 or a purple 12. The player chooses to cross off the purple 12 on the switchboard. And that's the opening move that each player performs to start the game. Play progresses by each player assuming the active player role in an anti-clockwise direction. The first player is the last person who spoke to someone on the phone. A few additional rules before we progress. 1. If the sum of the three dice is 14 or above, the player may immediately cross this number off on their switchboard, irrespective of colour. This is represented by the rainbow dots on the switchboard. 2. The colour and number combination must be available in order for a player to cross a phone number off on the switchboard. If it isn't available, the player may not cross a number off. 3. If the result of the coloured die is greater than the sum of the two white dice, the coloured die may not be used to subtract. Points are scored when a player completes a call, namely all phone numbers on the same line. Here, I'm completing a call in blue by crossing out the blue 1. Once a call is completed, players cross off the call in the corresponding phone book. Here it's blue, so I'm crossing off a line in the prime line, scoring 5 points. More or less points are scored depending on the colour of the call completed. Points are allocated depending on this table. Higher points are associated with numbers that are less likely to be rolled. Even more points can be scored if a whole phone book is completed. For example, If all 4 calls on the prime line are completed, the player receives a bonus of 10 points. Now we'll give a few examples of gameplay. We've both played our opening moves, and now because I was the last person to speak to someone on the phone, I'll be the first active player. So rolling the dice. All right, so we have an orange 2, a 4 and a 1. So the passive player goes first. So Tor has the option of placing a 5 in any colour other than orange. So Tor's chosen to cross off a yellow 5. All right, now I'm the active player, so I can choose to either re-roll the coloured die or the 2 white dice. If I don't re-roll, I've got an option of, I've got 3 orange options, a 5, a 3 or a 7. 5, a 3 or a 7. Orange is my even exchange, so none of those options because they're all odd numbers. So I'm going to choose to re-roll the coloured die. Okay, so now I've got a yellow 3, so my options become a yellow 5, a yellow 2, or a yellow 8. Yellow 5, 2, or 8. So I'll cross off this yellow 5. That's the end of that turn, and now it's time for Tor to roll as the active player. All right, so Tor's rolled a yellow 3, and a 3 and a 1 in the white. So this time Sarah, I'm the passive player, so I can place a 4 of any colour except yellow. Now, because I've got something crossed off on this orange line already, I'm going to cross off that orange 4. Now Tor, as the active player, gets to decide whether he'd like to re-roll the coloured die or the white dice. He's choosing not to re-roll. And placing a yellow 1. Very good. Okay, so now it's back to me to roll as the active player. All right, so I've got a purple 6 and a 4 and a 2. So Tor's turn to place as the passive player, a 6 of any colour except purple. And he's going for a red 6 or a red in the common caller. Now, do I want to re-roll as the active player? At the moment, I could place a purple 6, which I will do. That allows me to complete a call in the Tri-County Wire, which happens to be the highest scoring set of lines or phone book. And then I can cross out a call on the Tri-County Wire, allowing me to score 6 points. The game ends when any player connects 5 calls. At this stage, all players add up their score depending on how many calls and or phone books they've completed. The player with the most points wins.